Wow, all right. It's been a while. What is going on, guys? I'm Kevin from the Kevin Chronicles. I am so sorry I have not posted in forever. Life's been crazy, got engaged, getting a new puppy, work has been insane, but it's all been amazing, and I want to start posting again on a regular basis. Once again, if you don't know who I am or haven't checked out my videos before, I am Kevin from the Kevin Chronicles. This is about my life. I talk about a bunch of different things, kind of all over the place with my channel, but I do vlogs, I talk about cars, I talk about fashion, talk about life, debt, making good choices, and just try to help you guys make the best decisions you can in regards to your life while enjoying it and having the most fun. So if you ever have any questions, definitely send me a DM, especially if it's about any of my videos. Send me a direct message, put a comment down below, or shoot me an email and I'll be more than happy to respond. So today we are going to talk about grad school. Now, for those of you that don't know, I do have a graduate degree. I'm an attorney. I have a Juris Doctor degree, which means that I have the ability to practice law. Now, of course, there's other licensure that you are required to get. You have to pass a bar exam. But enough about that. What I really want to get into today is talking about, is grad school worth it? Is graduate school worth it? Is it worth the cost? I know that they talk about all the time on the news, the trillions of dollars in student loan debt. So I'm gonna kind of give you guys my opinion as to if grad school is worth it for you or not. Definitely don't take that as gospel. If you think that grad school is the right move for you, go for it. At the end of the day, it's your life, it's your decision. If you think it's the right move for you, go for it. But here's a couple of things that I would consider. So the first thing, if you are kind of on the fence about going to grad school, one of the biggest things that I would consider before taking on all that debt, and especially in that case, if you're taking on a lot of debt, is there going to be a higher salary at your current job, or is there going to be a higher starting salary? For example, with being an attorney or being a doctor, or maybe even going on Wall Street, if you do get a MBA or a JD or a doctorate degree, obviously there's gonna be a higher starting salary than if you were just a paralegal or maybe worked at a smaller brokerage, or if you were maybe a nurse practitioner or just a nurse. And I'm not discounting those positions at all. There's nothing wrong with that, but I'm saying obviously we all know that there is gonna be a different starting salary. So if you wanna go into that field, if you wanna go into the medical field, or if you wanna go into the legal field, or if you wanna go into finance, such as on Wall Street, then an MBA might be a good idea for you. If you don't want to go in those fields and it's kind of up in the air whether an MBA would really help you or not to grow, I would just kind of weigh out the costs, maybe talk to my job if you're currently somewhere, and kind of see with your manager or your director, is this going to benefit me in the long run? If it's not really going to benefit you and there's not really that much of a difference in salary, then it might not be the best idea for you to get an MBA. So definitely got to do your research on that, see what the different salary aspects are, and then kind of go from there. So number two, I would consider with your MBA, with that, of course, kind of be at the core of this topic. If your job is willing to pay for it for you, then I would absolutely go for it. There's a lot of different companies out there that'll give you like $5,000 or $8,000 in credit a year toward your MBA. If you have the ability to do that and you can work and do your MBA online at the same time or in the classroom, maybe part-time at night or on the weekends, go for it. Absolutely, no question, I would definitely do it. I know that it can seem like a lot, but usually an MBA is about 2 years. Now, if it's for a law degree, they do offer those, some part-time as well. And I don't know too much about in the medical field, but I imagine they may offer it, either on evenings or weekends. If you're going to be a doctor, I highly doubt that they offer that online. And I highly doubt that they kind of offer that as a part-time program. They might. Do your research. But all in all, if your job is willing to pay for your degree, definitely go for it. But here's one thing that you got to think about. Make sure that there's not a requirement for you to stay at that job for a certain period of time. So they might say, okay, listen, we'll pay for your degree, but you have to stay here 3 years at this salary. Kind of is a catch-22. So make sure you consider all the different objectives and all the different, kind of things that could happen if you do take this deal with them for them to pay for your degree. You may have to stay for a little while. So number three, when contemplating getting a graduate degree, whether it be a master's of business or some other master's in another discipline, a legal degree, or a higher ed degree in medicine, I would look for scholarships. If you can get a scholarship, if you can get a scholarship from either the university or you can get a scholarship outside of the university, I would definitely consider getting your master's. But also too, make sure you weigh out how much that scholarship is versus outside costs. And I'm talking about living expenses, I'm talking about food expenses, I'm talking about paying car insurance and all those different things. If you get a merit scholarship for full tuition, that's a great thing, but you still have all those outside expenses as well. So make sure you kind of do the math and consider what the scholarship is actually paying for before you kind of move forward with it, because you may still have to pay, or rather take out loans in order to kind of take care of your other activities outside of school. Do a budget, create a list, and kind of figure out the math as to see if it really works or not. So number 4, this is a catchy one. This one is where it kind of is up to you. If it's your passion, there's different disciplines that are really just never going to be very high paying. And it doesn't mean that they're not needed. I'm not discounting them at all. But if you get a master's in education, for example, but just plan on being a school teacher and love school teachers, there's nothing wrong with teaching school, but it's the raise that you're going to get based on being a school teacher is going to be very minor, if at all, when you get a master's versus just having an undergraduate degree. So definitely look at your discipline and figure out, do I really need a master's in order to exceed at that discipline? Now, if you want to be a school principal or a vice principal or work for the school board, yeah, you absolutely may need a master's. But just make sure you do your research, kind of figure out where you want to go, and life changes. You know, things happen, you get different interests in different disciplines. I understand that. But I'm just saying that, and that goes for any discipline, even in business. If you get a master's and you're only gonna get a $2,000 a year raise or a $3,000 a year raise, that really doesn't justify spending $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 on a master's. I'm sorry, it just doesn't. And I know that's kind of a hard reality for a lot of people, because they're getting told, well, go to the undergraduate, then go get your master's and you're gonna make way more money. That's not always the case. So I can say across the board, kind of looking at all these different things that I talked about across the board, do the math, work out the budget, and figure out, hey, listen, if I pull out $50,000 and then have to pay $10,000 in interest for $60,000, am I going to really make that over my career? Sometimes you just gotta follow your heart and say, I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and go to grad school because this is what I've always wanted to do. So thank you guys again so much for watching and checking out the Kevin Chronicles. I will be posting more often, I promise. If you guys have any topics that you want me to talk about, go ahead and post a comment below. Thank you again. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Later.